my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it big, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you want to,
I've been in here and people are roaring with laughter, so.
It's a dirty show, though.
Well, it's clean dirt.
Forgive me, but the best restaurants of the world are here in Vegas. I mean, you have here the best of the best.
Yes.
So we have many celebrities here. The Harley Madison come over here, and the Usher come over here many often, and the Paris Hilton come here, and Britney Spears came over here like 2 weeks ago.
Boy, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. Nobody else will. Oh.
That's so Vegas. Well, hello, and thank you for tuning into That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christine McKellar, and we're live here at the fabulous WCOBM studio off of the fabulous Las Vegas Boulevard South. Gotta throw the fabs in there. And I truly do have a fabulous guest today, Elaine Alcorn. You're one of the few female magicians in town. I know there's several now, but back in the day, I think years ago it was Melinda Sachs. She was the considered the first lady of magic or whatever. So, but you're more than just a magician. Not that that's a shoddy thing to be. You're also a dancer and an acrobat, and you have all these talents. So I was going to ask you just to start and to introduce you to viewers. When you were little, what was the first talent that displayed itself?
My parents put me in gymnastics at a really young age, and I just kind of took to it. And then I was always interested in the theater. Instead of reading me a bedtime story, my mom would read me scripts, and I'd memorize all the lines.
Wow, was she in show business?
No. I just kind of took to it.
That's a cool way to get your child to go to sleep, reading scripts. So the acrobatic part, how young were you? Like 3 or 4? Or?
5, I think, is
5.
my first year. Yeah.
This kind of always scares me, and we were talking a little bit before we started here about the Olympics, and the gymnastics is always my favorite part. So
Go Simone.
Yeah, go Simone. You could really relate to some of that, right?
The hard work and dedication that it takes to get that good.
So you pursued the gymnastics for quite a while until you became, a teenager? Or?
I actually was only in gymnastics until I was 8, and then I moved over to dance.
Oh, good.
But I kept doing things here and there. And then I started singing, and I started layering things, and every time I'd learn something, then I'd want to learn something new.
Right. And then when did the magic kick in?
Well, the magic didn't really start until I came to Las Vegas.
Oh, so did the magic bring you here, or were you?
Quite literally, the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus tour brought me here. The train kind of dropped me off, and that's where I stayed.
So you joined the circus?
Yeah.
Lucky you. Went where? Tell us a little bit about that.
There was one Christmas that I had to call my mom and say, I'm not coming home for Christmas because I'm running away to join the circus.
No.
And she wasn't surprised. No.
Where were you living then? Was that?
I was doing a dinner theater in Wisconsin. And one of the Brazilian girls had lost her visa, and they needed an emergency replacement. And the director of the circus knew me, and he was like, hey, you want to join the circus? And I was like, why not?
What a dream come true, really. I mean, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
What did you do? What was your first gig there?
I was a dancer there, but then I started training. That's where I got my first start into the acrobatic world.
Oh, are we talking swinging from wires and the trapeze?
Yeah,
and
the aerial.
Aerial.
Yeah.
Were you scared at all?
No, I've always loved heights. It's been a weird thing. Like, I'll be up high and be totally fine, and everyone's like, come down from there, you're going to get hurt. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Interesting. So it's maybe a genetic thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
That's interesting thought, yeah. Maybe it was a bird in a previous life.
Anything could be. Who knows? You never know. So literally, kind of, or figuratively, you were with a circus and then you jumped train, not ship.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you jumped train in Vegas.
In Vegas.
And it was the magic that was drawing you.
Yeah, I'm 5'4", and I'm not afraid of small spaces. I'm not claustrophobic.
Wow, I am.
So I kind of made the perfect magic assistant.
So you could fit in a box
Yeah.
before they sawed you together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that, or I don't know if the standard applies, but you weren't tall enough to be, say, a dancer.
Yeah, I wasn't like showgirl status,
Uh-huh.
but the magic, it was kind of like I fit right in there.
And what was your first gig? How did you go about?
My first gig in Vegas was Show in the Sky. I think many dancers have tread their feet on that stage.
Well, good. It's a nice platform then
Yeah.
to propel people.
Yeah. And I think the first magician that I ever worked with might have been Antonio Restivo.
Okay. And you were, what was your role there?
It was a show called Ignite.
Okay.
Do you know? Do you remember?
A lot of people, it was a flamingly hot show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings to mind, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in another segment, but you also have a fire license.
Yeah, I do.
So you can handle pyrotechnics.
Yeah.
How did you have to go to the fire department to get that?
Oh, yeah, it's a process.
Is
They're sticklers about it. Yeah, to get the permits for the events is also an ordeal.
Do you have to do that for each event?
Oh, for every event, yeah.
Amazing. So what is part of the process that...
Going to the fire department, filling out a stack of forms, a big book that they give you, and then they want to come to the event site and walk around with you, and you show them your equipment, and you have a little chat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really... you could almost be a fireman, probably. Do they have you do safety routines?
I've done,
or do you have to,
I've done my own. And also for the cruise ship, they're quite strict. You have to go through the basic safety
would
training that the
imagine.
U.S. Coast Guard approves, and there's a lot of fire safety in that as well. So I've had my fair share of fire handling.
That's right. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about that. That you aren't going to. Las Vegas is going to lose Elaine. I hate to say it. I feel like I just discovered you, but it's just for a couple months. You're going on a cruise ship with the Connie Boyd Productions.
Yes.
And we'll talk about Connie too.
Yeah.
Further on into the hour, but the cruise ship thing, that's going to be a lot of fun.
I
But you will
love it.
come back to Vegas,
Oh, of
correct?
course.
After the
Yeah.
contract's up. Have you been on the cruise lines before?
I have. I've been doing the Illusions show on the Costa Neoclassica.
And where does that go?
That was in the Mediterranean.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful Mediterranean.
I've done a cruise ship thing as an author. I went on some cruises.
Yeah.
About 4 1 year on Princess. It is a lot
nice
of fun.
life,
And
yeah.
I hung out, believe it or not, with all the entertainers and the bartenders.
That's where all the fun is.
It really was where all the fun was. I mean, the officers are nice, and a lot of them are gentlemen, but really, it's more fun being with the entertainers.
Yeah.
And the bar crew's great. you
Yeah.
know. I actually got invited to the crew quarters once. So, but you don't talk about that. I won't name the cruise ship line. When you first came to Vegas and you were getting, magic was your goal, correct? I mean, was that your focus?
It was one of them.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you find there was a problem falling into well, you don't just fall into a magic gig, but we don't hear that much about female magicians. I mean, we've had a couple, like I mentioned earlier. It just seems to be kind of a man's world, so to speak, when you look at the big names, Copperfield and...
It used to be.
Oh, I like your attitude.
Maybe it used to be.
So you see a whole trend in that. You didn't notice anything like a glass ceiling when you first came to Vegas?
If there was some kind of glass ceiling, it shattered really quickly.
Good. We like hearing that.
I actually think Las Vegas was very welcoming to
Uh-huh.
the idea of female magicians. Going back even decades, there's been headlining female magicians.
Right.
I think it's something that is refreshing and people are ready for.
And women are more sexy than men, let's just face it.
They can be.
Yeah, there's something prettier about a woman in a G-string than a guy to some people. I have to give a quick shout out to my sponsor. We're going to go to break. It's only 5 minutes. We don't want to lose anybody. You can chat with us. Don't forget about that. But a quick shout out to the Red Roof Inn. It's on Paradise across from the famous Hard Rock Hotel. They're pet-friendly, free Wi-Fi, continental breakfast for guests. And like I said, don't go away. It's 5 short magical minutes, and we'll be back. See you in a minute.